Hey, what's up? So I get asked quite a bit about the camera gear that I use to film my videos, and I'm really not too sure as to why, because I'm not much of a camera expert, but I finally put together a setup that's not only efficient, effective, and I think quite good, but it's also not a huge investment. So I figured it's a great time to share with you guys what I use to film my videos. And this is also just an opportunity for me to help get over my fear of filming in public. I'm extremely scared and nervous right now, but this is a great first step for me, so let's just dive into this. Starting off with the star of the show, which is my camera. This is the Sony ZVE1. If you haven't heard of this camera, this is basically a budget-friendly cinema camera. It shares the exact same sensor as the higher-end Sony cameras like the Sony FX3, just not all the same features and stuff, but the exact same image comes out of it. So basically a cinema camera, but for half the price. You get 4K at up to 120 frames per second. You can shoot in S-Log, it's 10-bit 422, basically again like FX3 footage, but in a smaller, more compact body. The only problem with this camera that you'll hear online is that this is prone to overheating, as there is no internal cooling or fan on the inside. And I've only experienced overheating, I think, twice now, and that was when I was recording 4K 60 for like literally 3 to 4 hours straight, like crazy B-roll sessions. So take that as you will. I wouldn't really say it's a con if you want to purchase this camera, but yeah, it can overheat, but I think that's in pretty extreme use cases. And especially since I only film YouTube videos, Instagram, TikTok and stuff, this is more than enough. Let's talk about the lens, as this is probably the most important part to a camera setup, which is something that I've just recently learned actually. I used to use just kit lenses with my cameras, believe it or not, and I finally invested in a pretty decent lens. This is the Sony 2270 f4. You're probably thinking f4, why would you go f4 instead of like 2.8 or something? Honestly, I think f4 just makes more sense for me because I basically film all my videos solo, and having that shallow depth of field is really nice, but you also could miss the shot, like if you're like out of focus or something, or you're really trying to get that depth of field. I could easily be out of focus and then miss the shot, which is not worth it. Or rather, it's just f4, make sure everything's kind of in focus. But the real reason why I got this lens is for the versatility. You get 20 to 70 mil focal range. 20 is wide enough where I can vlog and get some pretty wide shots. Then I can go all the way into 70 and get those really nice crisp tight shots if I want to shoot a product or something. Just super versatile. And I also love the buttons. There's 2 of them on this lens which you can program through the camera. Just a super versatile lens. And this is the only lens I carry. I carry one lens. This is it, and I absolutely love it. Next up is audio, and I rely on the Sony ECMB10 shotgun microphone. This is a great mic. It sounds great. I'm sure you've seen a lot of other creators use it. It's just so small, it's super compact, but the main reason why I got it, and I know a lot of other people do, is because it works through the Sony multi-interface hot shoe. So once you slide that in and get it set up, I mean, there is no setup. That's the main thing. So once it's in the hot shoe, it gets power and the connectivity through the hot shoe, through the camera battery. So this is just the setup, super easy, super compact, no extra cables, and it sounds pretty good. And while it is pretty customizable on the back, bunch of settings and stuff, I just leave it set to auto, and I think it sounds pretty good at auto. There's no fuss, no setup. It's just super easy. Speaking of audio, check this out. So let's get rid of the music, then we'll get rid of the waves back there. And now let's get rid of the wind and then the background noise, and all you have now is my voice. Really shows you how crucial audio is. And if you're like me, you don't like to fuss around recording sound effects and stuff, then you are going to love the sponsor of this video, Artlist. Artlist is your ultimate go-to for all things creative. Artlist is like a treasure chest packed with everything you need to level up your editing and your video production. They offer a huge selection of sound effects, stock footage, and high quality templates to make your content shine. Everything that you hear in this video, from the music to the sound effects, are coming straight from Artlist. Their library is massive, filled with an extensive range of songs and sound effects, perfect for any project, and finding the right audio is a breeze. You can easily skip the endless searching and go straight into creating. Whether you're working on social media content, commercials, or anything in between, Artlist has a plan that fits your needs perfectly, and you can get access to a ton of professional grade content all in one place. If you're interested in checking out Artlist, then hit the first link in the description, as there is a little bit of a deal. And huge thanks to Artlist for sponsoring this video. Now let's talk about tripods and mounting gear, because this is where things get pretty interesting, as I don't like to carry around a traditional tripod. I instead like to opt for a monopod. The one that I use for newer, and the reason why I go with a monopod, is the small footprint. And this monopod gives me the same flexibility and adjustments as a regular tripod, but without taking up nearly as much space. It's lightweight and compact, which is crucial when I'm trying to stay low profile while shooting in public places, because again, I'm still not comfortable with this. And because my camera setup is so small, compact, and light, I'm never worried about it like tipping over or anything, even at its highest height. But the tripod that I actually use most is this Sony shooting grip or vlogging grip tripod, mini handheld tripod. There isn't really anything too crazy about this one. The reason why I went with the Sony one is because it has this swiveling head at the top, and then it also has some pretty good adjustments here. And then there's also some customizable buttons on the front, or like buttons to help use your camera. So you got like photo, video, you can zoom in and out with this rocker, and then there's also a programmable button right here. It's just super easy, it's fluid. I just tend to like have my camera on here and then place it on a bunch of different places, and that's how I get a majority of my shots. Lastly, let's talk about my favorite accessory, the SmallRig Magic Arm. And this little accessory is a game changer for mounting gear like cameras, lights, or microphones. The build quality is fantastic. It's made from aluminum, so it's both lightweight and durable. It can hold about 1.5 kilograms, making it ideal for small to medium-sized gear. But what really sets it apart from basically any other piece of gear is its flexibility. There are two 360-degree ball heads that allow you to position your gear almost at any angle. And adjusting it could not be easier. There's just one knob or screw that locks and unlocks all the joints at once. It's incredibly simple to use, and it lets me get shots that I couldn't achieve with a regular tripod. What's even better is that I can now use this magic arm in ways I didn't even expect at first. Like, I've mounted it to so many different surfaces now, effectively using it as a tripod, but without the bulk of a normal tripod. It keeps my setup super low profile, which as someone who's still getting comfortable filming in public, it is a huge plus. This accessory has seriously transformed the way I shoot my videos. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for my solo filmmaking, vlogging camera setup, if you will. Before I go, I did want to quickly show you guys what I'm using to actually film this right now, which is the Sony FX30. And then sitting on top, I have the XLR interface, which is going into the Sennheiser MKE shotgun microphone. And then for the lens, I have the Sony 16-55 f2.8 lens. This is kind of what I use to film like in my studio space and stuff, like more indoors and whatnot. But yeah, that's that. I'm losing light really fast, so I gotta wrap this up. If you guys are interested in anything I talked about in this video, it will be linked in the description down below. If you guys have any questions about the setup or anything, let me know in the comments. Huge thanks to Artlist again for sponsoring this video. And if you guys like Apple tech or desk setup related content, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.